This is Calamus Marks the Spot. I'm the Calamus. I'm a middle-aged mom from the South.
And I'm Liv, a younger asthmatic girly from the city. And this is a mental health podcast from the South to the city. We will be talking about our trips, experiences, and religion, and it will be full of trigger warnings.
I have to start with my Calamus because it's really bad and I am so embarrassed.
You have the floor.
Okay. So we had some people over and it just so happens that it was like my sister-in-law's family and my youngest had just taken a shower and he came out barefoot and his feet were black like 10 minutes after he took a shower. And I was like, how do you already have coon feet? And it was like the air was sucked out of the room, which was hard because we were outside. And I was like, I wonder why like it went like that. And so then I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, is that a racial slur? Not. And I'm like, because raccoons have like little black gloves and little black socks, right? And I
Yeah.
was like, it can't be a racial slur because no matter what color your skin is, the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet are the same color. So I'm like, there's no way. So then I asked my black friend. She says it is.
Oh
Yes. I
no.
am mortified. I'm sitting
Oh.
in front of someone who is African American, and that's why it was. And I feel
Oh,
so. I did not know. I feel horrible.
you thought it was raccoons.
I thought it was like cute little raccoons. She gave me a pass this time because I told her now that I know better, I'll do better.
And that is gross. Oh no. I wonder if maybe you
I
could say, why do you have little raccoon feet still?
did. Well, when it went silent, I did try to explain it, and I thought these people don't know what coon feet are. Like, and now I'm beginning to like think about all the other things. Like people say, you smell like a polecat. Is that a racial slur too?
Oh
I
no.
thought
And
they were talking about a skunk.
you're
Not.
in the South, so it's
I.
riddled with racial slurs.
Yes.
Oh no.
That you don't even know about. I had, but then my friend did suggest that anything that came, I heard from my grandparents, maybe I should like kind of run it through for a few times.
Yeah. Maybe do a quick Google search
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
That's a good rule of thumb.
yeah.
If you heard it from your grandparents,
I
you need to
am,
double
I
check.
am mortified, and I'm gonna have to say something to those people. I just can't. I can't. I mean, I can't not be like,
You have to
I
write them
know
an
that.
apology letter.
Yeah, I know I said this, but just so y'all know, you shouldn't say it.
I have since learned my lesson.
I've called my child racial slurs in front of you, and I feel like no, I am mortified.
That will do it. That will
Yeah.
do it. Okay. What a good lesson to learn. Okay. I love that.
Yeah. You learn something every day.
You do.
What's
You
our,
learn everything.
yes. What's our topic today?
Okay. Our topic today is what family means as an adult now.
What
So,
did you think it was as a kid? You had to think it was horrible because your family was constantly telling on you.
oh my God, I know. Yeah. Um, family to me when I was a kid was like, you don't really tell the truth to anybody. And
I mean, like your friends, but not your family.
sure, but when you're
Some of your
young
friends.
and you're constantly being shown that lies are what you normally do, it translates to lies everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like what's happening now is like when somebody is like a toxic leader and showing you this stuff, it's almost like a little addicting to do that bad thing because it's like, well, the parent's doing it. So then you like, then stealing ends up being like a, well, I mean, it's kind of in the same family, right? And
Yeah.
let's talk about stealing. Came, yeah,
Well,
was
but
taught.
also like me, I was
No,
15. Oh,
not my mother now. My birth mother.
well, um, now that you say that, I don't think I ever put that together, but there was very much of a, oh, I'm not doing it right anyway, so I might as well just do it all not right.
Yes,
Like there was a
yes,
very all or nothing type of
exactly.
mentality that you did get. Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you're like desensitized by
Hmm.
that, like just lying because it's like
Yeah.
just say something different, then you just desensitize almost everything, and it's like I'm not being bad. I'm not being like the bad influence. I'm just doing what my family does
Yeah.
and not talking about it, not telling the truth, not confiding in anybody. It's that's fine. And you see your whole family not have close friends, close people. They get rid of them so fast. So it's like,
But
oh, okay.
not close people that they're honest with. I think
Yeah.
there are people who would say that they were close to our parents,
Uh,
but
yeah, but they weren't told the truth about anything. So like
no,
when you got down to it, they didn't really know us or
no.
what we truly were. So it definitely was just uh like sneaking around, which then leads you to not really know who you are for a long time because you're just like making shit up. And then
Well, but then the
you
other part of it is, and I don't know if it was our crazy family or
Mhm.
like because of that, but like I could never be friends with my mom and your mom at the same time because whatever I said to your mom, then she would twist and tell it to my mom, and then my mom would come back, da, da, and like I hated that. I don't want to go around and around and around, you know, because
Right.
I'm gonna talk about it behind your back, but I'll say it to your face too. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna. I'm
And
not gonna.
you don't need to twist it around. So then when you do say it to
Yeah,
their face, it's
twist
still different.
around
It's still different. It's still
to
not.
make it something. Yeah, when it was nothing. It was nothing, literally nothing. And I
Mm.
hated that too because he well, she was constantly looking for something to tell on you about. She would be
Constantly.
constantly.
And
She wanted to be your best friend and she was so cool and she
so
wanted
that
all
she could get
your
it all out of
trust.
you.
But she was just waiting on something to tell.
Just stir that pot. That's her profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really not until this fucking year that I'm like figuring it out. Now, me and you have figured out our relationship before this, for sure.
Yes, but I still don't am not able to I still don't know what a like how to have a real friendship with like my sister-in-law or my mother-in-law or like they're to me they're more all those people are more my family now than my
Yeah,
own family like if
yeah,
I think about that and I've
absolutely.
been with my husband and his family longer than I lived at home with mine
True.
but I wouldn't say I mean we're friendly but I wouldn't say that we have just like I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, we haven't figured it out. And so and I truly have started figuring it out only with my older brother because he's giving back what I'm giving him. And I kind of believe it's also able to happen because he found a really lovely girlfriend who is open-minded and kind and patient. And so then it like it she like holds the space for
Has a
him to
calming
get back
effect.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But I
so
think too, I mean, he doesn't know how to do it either.
no, exactly. And so he's trying it out with my mom still. So that's clearly going the exact way you would think it would be going. So then now that I've reached out, we're trying and it's been really nice because I always felt that your family or people you loved needed to be everything to you. Like they needed to hold everything accountable. They needed to be there for everything. They needed to be everyone. They needed to have it all. And that's what it meant I guess because it was like no one held that. So clearly, if I'm going to love somebody, they're going to need to be everything. And so
Yeah.
now I've realized, like, you know what? It's okay. He cannot physically be there for me ever, my older brother, but he always picks up the phone. He always texts me. He always checks on me, and he says, come over anytime. So he's just not mobile very well. But I'm like, you know what? That is okay. And I don't have to be mad at him. And I can let him be who he is and appreciate what he can bring me. And moral support is so important if that's it, period. And so now I'm like, oh, okay. So we don't have to be mad at him. I don't have to judge him. I don't have to say, like, oh, I wish he could just, because he's doing what he can do, he's capable of.
That's really hard to meet somebody where they're at. That's a really
Girl,
hard thing, especially for me, because I'm like, let me tell you how to get where I need you to be.
let me show
And
you
they
the steps.
not ask.
Yeah. And so that's why it's just this one person in my family, because it is so hard. And he is giving open-mindedness. He's like communicating what he can and can't do, how he feels about how he can't do that or how he can do that. And then I'm able to explain how I feel about where I'm at. And it's like, it's truly amazing. I did not think it could happen so fast when I was ready to have that connection again.
But do you think that you cutting him off completely helped or hurt that?
Helped so much. Oh my God. It was 2 years, and like 2 years and a few months. And I actually, let's see, I think I started talking to him in like May of this year. And last year, early December, I ran into him at a bar with my friends, and he didn't even come get me. His manager came and got me, because he just said, I'm 70% sure that was my sister. And the manager was like, why 70%? She's your sister. And he's like, I haven't seen her in a while. And so manager came and ran out and get me. And he's like, are you Olivia? Come with me. And that was it. And so that was, I just was like so not ready. And that was the first time I was able to articulate how I felt with my family. And I told him, I said, you know what? I'm not ready to talk to my family yet. I'm healing right now. Eventually, I want to get there, but I'm just not ready yet. And he just said, okay, well, be safe, and you can have a drink here at my bar whenever you want. And I was just like, did he just respect my boundaries? so so then I was like waiting for him to reach out, and he didn't. And I was like, wow, he's really still respecting my boundaries, because I was able to explain it. So, and the way then I went back in May and I sat at his bar and I talked with him for a little bit. And the way he was explaining himself, it was exactly the same place I left him. He, his car doesn't work. His friends suck. People at his job treat him bad. And so I was just like, okay, this is my first baby step, which I've learned in many books, is when you're trying to heal, taking small, controllable risks is the best for your system, because then you're like trying that new thing, but it's small and you're totally in control of it. So, like meeting him at his work so I could leave, not telling him too much, listening to him, and then having some time to think about it. And so uh it was it was still hard then, and only like, yeah, within the past couple months, because then of course you have to kind of trauma dump to catch up with each other. But again, it was like, that's not what relationship I want to have with you. I don't want, that's what I had with my younger sister. And we do not know how to have a relationship yet, because that's all we know is the trauma that binds us as a family, because she has a different dad. She's completely differently raised and everything. So I'm like, okay. So then I started like turning it positive at the end, like letting us catch up and then turning positive. And he was like grabbing onto that and going with it. And I'm like, it feels like the first time he's actually been positive or able to be positive, even. Maybe that was in his own head. It like nothing was positive. And so now it's actually like a really good balance, but it's still like a okay, I'm gonna try this and try this. Okay, he gonna try this. But this one's going okay. It is a lot of work and you have to rearrange your brain about it, but it has to also go well. And of course, the whole thing is like having compassion, meeting them where they're at. It really is just about you, but it's so hard when they are the way they are. It makes it so difficult.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if I called up like my older brother or sister.
And what would you say?
See, that's the thing though. I don't know because I don't know them anymore. I don't know. I mean, I would have plenty of questions, but it would be like, yes, no, like there would be no, and they would be so scared that it would. I don't think that they would be able to have a conversation. I really don't.
Would you feel like you would want to meet them like for lunch or breakfast or like at a mutual place to do
Not
that?
my older brother, my older sister. I feel like I would. I don't know that we would ever be friends, and I would probably not like it, but I would like one more time. And I feel a little bit sad for my mom because the last time we took a family picture, I was 20 something. So it's been 20 years ago. And like, yeah, that kind of makes me sad that you don't have any family pictures of your kids as adults,
Because
you
of
know?
your family,
Yeah.
like your kids and your husband and the
Yeah.
way you guys can. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But that's her family and her relationships. And so that's also hard. But yeah, because you talk to both of your younger brothers.
I do.
Yeah.
But it's not like it hasn't been hard. I mean, we've been
Mm.
through times when we don't speak and
And you
when
want to
things
talk
aren't
about
good. Yeah,
meeting.
but it was so no, only recently have I been even a little bit better about it because it's so easy just to cut people off. I'm done with you. And then I don't have to deal with it.
I
We're,
know.
you know.
And you really had to meet them where they're at recently.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
you
Yeah.
you try to take more and it's a hot mess.
It's disappointing for sure. And I think it's unfair when someone tells you who they are and then you're still disappointed because they told you who they were. So really it's on you.
Yeah.
And even like my therapist, one time I was talking about something about one of my brothers, and she's like, "You had no idea, really? Really?" And I was like,
Calling me out like that?
and the truth was I did, but I didn't
No,
want to say anything, you
you
know?
wanted them to be different for your
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really fucking hard one. Uh and so it's like I know that the roadmap is to let them be who they are. You just show the compassion and the love that they don't know how. I get it. I know it front and backwards. I could practice it with some people. I just cannot fathom with my mother.
And what about now? Who do you think of as your family now?
So, yeah, now it's hard because it's like I got one family. My brother, he's doing great. We're allowing each other to be who we are, and it's really lovely and nice. And like, when things come up that before would be like upsetting, it's like we're able to get through right to the end. Everything's okay, and I'm like, wow, this is really working. And so I believe I could do it with my mother and my sister, but they are the worst. If you think of like superheroes, the villains together, that's what they're like when they're together, and they're always together and they live together. So they're never cutting that off. They never
And
have
what
a
about
break.
your younger brother?
I tried a couple times and he goes, "Oh yeah, I don't have a day off, but when I do, I'd love to. Okay, love you." And I've said sorry a few times, like, sorry I wasn't a good sister. And he's like, "Oh my god, no way, you're the best sister. I was a little shit. I love you." And I'm like, well, that makes me want to cry. And then I do know he's really good friends with my older brother, so I'm like, I guess I'm not worried about it, because now my older brother is being very compassionate and really, really trying with both of them, because my sister feels like he's an asshole to her, and and he knows that he was an asshole to our younger brother. So he's trying. He tells me all the time, all the scenarios. He goes, I try not to yell at them. I try to explain how I feel to them so then they can understand that I'm not coming from a mean place. And I was like, wow, that is really good. But at the same time, I love to make other people's problems my problem. Not necessarily like tell them how to fix it. I want to fix it. And then that's not how it goes. So I'm really trying to separate myself from that with them. And so right now that looks like not reaching out very much. And so I know my older brother is spending a lot of time with my younger brother. I missed my younger brother's birthday, which I feel so bad about.
October 3rd.
Second.
Second.
See, it's so sad. I feel so fucking bad. And so I'm just really thankful that my older brother is like taking on that much better relationship with him. But like, to me, it's like, okay, he doesn't feel like he wants me there right now. He would reach out, and I'm not hurt by it. But I also am like, I'm not ready to make all that effort either. And
Do you know that one time I had a psychic lady who told me that she could break my tether to my mother?
break it.
Yes.
And what did you say?
How much is it going to cost? And it was going to be a lot. And I couldn't afford to untether us.
You're going to need the XXL wire cutter.
Yes. What? Had to call special equipment. I couldn't afford it. So we'll never know. I'm just tethered for eternity.
They're going to have the Australian lineman come in for that one. What? Oh. Break the tether.
Yeah, I don't. She had a billboard.
Oh, she's legit. She got money. She got money.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I am going to see my medium on Wednesday. So.
Oh, well, that'll be good.
We'll see, and I'll probably ask more things about my family this time because I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't know what there is to gain from the and I know that sounds mean, but I just don't know what your mom has to offer. I guess other than being a mom. I mean,
I like which part though. She only knows how to do infant mom things.
I mean, like if you had a stain on your laundry, she might know how to get it out. Do you need a recipe?
If my stomach hurt, she rubs my feet.
If you need a flower arrangement?
Yeah, very good at that.
A wedding theme?
A theme of any sort.
A theme of any sort? I mean, so I guess there's quite a bit.
I know. So that is what I do know. I do know the things that I can connect with her on. But it's just those other things that are holding me back, because I'm like, it's exhausting. I'm constantly going to have to be fact checking her and stopping her and saying I'm going to leave. If like, that is exhausting.
No, you have to have a very superficial relationship. I will occasionally I'll ask my mom about stuff, but she doesn't volunteer anything really unless I ask, and then she will. And that's kind of a good, because if I'm overwhelmed already, I don't want to hear anything.
Keep going. Yeah.
And so that works, but it does have to be very superficial.
It does. Absolutely. It literally does. And that's what is coming up right now when I think about that, is how sad I'll probably feel when I leave and it has to be superficial.
Yeah.
And that feels like another heartbreak that I don't want to sign up for.
Yeah, because I do think it would be nice to be able to do little things together with either my sister or my mom, like, go get your nails done together or go, have lunch.
Literally.
But
And
yeah,
my mom can be really funny too. So you probably laugh. It'd be
yeah.
really, but
Do you know the last time my mom went out to a restaurant with my sister and her husband? She left her shoes and she made me call the restaurant and ask if they had her shoes. I was like, nobody has shoes. Like, what is going on?
what?
Why were your shoes off? Like,
And where were they? Where was
she
the restaurant?
at the table and she just walked out and she said to like,
what restaurant?
oh, it was like an upscale burger type place where you order at the counter and then go sit down. I was like, this is so embarrassing. I'm calling and asking. Oh, no, ma'am, not children's shoes. No, grown adult shoes. Yes, do you have it?
Yeah, actually, I was.
But that's not the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to ask for. One time when Joey came to visit me, he brought me this little figurine and I left it in the room, but I really wanted it. So I called the hotel and I said, excuse me, have you found like a little glass cat in a sombrero?
They lost it?
Yes. Stole it, of course. If you saw a cat in a sombrero, wouldn't you be like, I'm taking that?
That's mine now. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is embarrassing. She just walked out, got back in the car.
And I never thought about shoes, but I have a little bit of a scar about shoes. Do you remember Jane's shoes? Anything about her shoes?
She had 127 pairs.
She had 127 pairs, but she only wore maybe 2 or 3. So then she would have you go through her. Well, I mean, she wore them, like to go to church or whatever. But then, anyhow, she'd make you go through them, and they would be moldy.
Oh no!
And the same thing. She used to have this makeup drawer, and that she pulled open, and it was all her lipstick, but they were open in the drawer so that she could just look and pick out what she wanted, but they were uncovered. So then if she didn't use it for a while, it was covered in dust.
Okay. And can I tell you the things I'm scared about? That old makeup smell? Because she was doing it, so my mom was doing that also. And
I had no idea that makeup expired until I was grown. Yeah. Oh. Yes.
Oh, that's bad. Sour laundry, leaving your washer clothes in the washer for days. My mother would do that, among other things, regularly. And when somebody walks in, I can, put the cape on as fast as you can. How dare you leave your clothes in the laundry that long? I can't. Oh my God. That will tragic. I can't.
Mine is toilet paper. I keep toilet paper in the trunk of my car usually, because I don't want to run out. Apparently, we run out a lot. So like I've always been a stockpiler, and like when I get down to the last 4 rolls, I'm like nervous. Like I
Did you ever have to use something else as toilet paper?
Oh yes, yes, regularly. And the other thing is she used to save her paper towels. So when she would use her paper towels to wipe the counter, and then she'd, rinse them underwater and then spread them out different places for them to dry and then reuse them.
Oh my God. How recyclable. Oh my God.
She was worried about you and your generation.
Mm-hmm. She was looking out. That was very thoughtful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about that time we went to Asheville.
Yes.
And
oh gosh. So I took you to a very nice hotel in Asheville.
Yes.
That I have been to many times before with my with my husband and with other people. Your mother, one,
Oh,
she embarrassed the shit out of me while we were there.
okay, wait, that's a
Um,
different story. You're gonna have to
okay,
come back to that.
okay. So they have a concierge on the floor, like your own little butler man,
Yeah.
who usually just shows me to my room and says bye. He'll fix me a drink if I want it or whatever. No, we get there. First of all, the valet almost jerks your bag out of your hands when we get there.
Yeah.
Very aggressive, not demure at all.
No, not
Um, then you go to get breakfast, and I've just slumped on my breakfast back to the room. You go, come back with a linen napkin on a silver tray with your stuff.
yeah. They couldn't get it fast enough. I didn't ask for
Pissing me off.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not even there. But then, since I have lost a little bit of weight, I've had a couple people try to speak to me. One man tried to speak to me, and I have the name of my business on my truck, and he was asking me about it, and I was like, "Oh yes, well we named it that because um it would come first in the yellow pages." And he was like, "The what?" I didn't want to have to explain what yellow pages were to this young gentleman.
Caught you off guard.
Yeah,
So she's not quite.
You see, Sammy, back in my day,
She's
you
not
had to know
quite
your
ready for
alphabet.
the flirting yet.
No,
Oh, I love to hear it.
not gonna make it. That's what I'm gonna say. Not gonna make it.
Yes. Now it's time to hone in your energy. Now you got to muster it up.
Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. I'm
Not
gonna
talk
find it.
about ancient artifacts.
I told my youngest that next year I was hoping to be able to bring us all on a trip. And I wanted to take like an individual trip with each child. And I said, like think of somewhere really neat you want to go. And he was like, I don't, can you just give me the money? And he was like, I can like use it for like, I'll put it in the bank or whatever. And I was like, but like we could take the train to New York, to Washington, D.C. He was like, we could uh, be financially responsible and invest it.
What? That is insane. He's thinking about the future.
Yes, I'm tired of being lectured by my children.
I can be financially responsible.
Or we
I
could
thought you
Washington, D.C., New York, or we could be financially responsible. You thought I was.
How did you raise those kids? Responsible, financially responsible. Well, good job, I guess.
Barely, no. They're all completely feral.
Yeah, they are. But they know about that money and what it can do.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
for
that
sure.
child just needs a check and the other children want experiences.
Okay, yeah.
You
Well,
got to meet them where they're at, right?
he wants investment. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's worse things, right?
Absolutely. Oh my God, absolutely.
Okay, so for my mom moment, my youngest bought his own truck today. And it's like a 1995 Ford. So I have no
Oh.
worries about him driving it because there's nothing on the road now that would even dent it. He could
Yeah,
like flip over 3 or 4 times and not even
he'd be
like
totally good.
destroy me. It's just a huge piece of steel. I really like it. And right now it leaks oil and it gets about, 4 to 8 miles a gallon. So he's never gonna have money for drugs or anything like that.
Oh my God. It's perfect.
It's great.
That
Yes.
is great.
Okay. Yes. I'll do my question of the day.
Okay.
What pillows do you like to sleep on? 1, 2, down, goose, eucalyptus, bamboo.
Okay, you want to know my pillow game?
Mhm.
Okay. I have a ergonomic back sleeping pillow with a silk pillowcase because I hurt my neck sleeping one time,
Okay.
and that was the last time I would be hurt sleeping. Sleep is not going to do me like that.
No, it won't be, but go ahead.
And Then I got my old cotton pillow under my knees so I could sleep on my back better. And then, wait, I'm not done. And then I got the old down pillow that I fucking hate, and an old cotton pillow that I can't sleep on anymore on both sides of me, and I stick my hands under them so that they hold them down so I can sleep on my back better.
Spend the night at people's houses are like, excuse me, could you tuck this pillow tighter under? You come with your 4 pillows. You're like, hey,
Couch pillows. You just didn't have what I was looking for. Yeah. So it currently looks like somebody's in my bed because of the pillows.
This is perfect.
So what about you?
Good. I am a 2-pillow. If I can't have 2 pillows, I can't sleep. Why'd you invite me here? Even at hotels, I need 2 pillows. And my top one has to be Goose or Goose Alternative because I like to be very, very soft, but I don't want it to be lumpy.
Yeah.
And then my bottom one can be whatever. But I also have one of the old people beds that makes its own little that you can put your legs on anything. So that's cheating.
Okay.
But when I get to hotels, I'm like, oh, I can't even put my feet up. This is so cool.
So trashy. So not good. That's so good.
All right, let's hear your loose lip.
All right, so today's Live Loose Lips is the time my mother pimped me out in Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh.
Yes. So
was it an alien?
No. Tragic. It would have been more fun. She moved there for 5 months because her husband got her husband a job there for 8 months, and she went after him. And when she went, she's telling me all about this boy. He's so cute. You're gonna love him. Oh my God, you need to come meet him. You need to date him. So I would move there. And so she's talking him up. I'm just like, whatever. And so I go down and visit her, and it's the tiniest town I've ever seen in my life, which is not true, but it is the tiniest town ever. And I meet them, her and her husband and that boy, at like Chili's, Applebee's, when we first get there. And her husband and the boy were there already. So then we get there, we talk, maybe we order something, and then my mom and her husband are like, okay, we're leaving, bye. And so they leave, and me and him were like, so what are you gonna do? What are we doing? I'm like, where are you taking me? What's the plan? And he's like, oh, and he's being all sassy back to me, cocky. And I was like, yeah, this is clearly a setup. And like, I'm here for 3 days. I don't fucking know. So he's like, I don't know, we can go to the movies. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, oh, sorry, the movies are closed on Saturday night, or they're already closed or some shit. And then he's like, well, we'll just go. So then I don't even know if we went to the movies, but anyways, it got late, and he's like, well, do you want to go to Taco Bell? And that Taco Bell's closed. Now we got to go other side of town. Oh, 3 lights that way? Are you kidding? This place is a joke. And so I'm just making fun of it so bad. So then he drops me off at my mom's, and then the next day is Sunday, softball day. They have like their group softball. So guess what? My mom takes me out drinking so that I could be drunk. And then she says, okay, I gotta go take a nap. And she runs home and leaves me to go to the softball game by myself drunk. That's a plan, let me tell you. That was her plan. Okay? Now I'm drunk. It's, a 5-minute walk to the softball fields. I show up, and I'm like, hi. And he's playing softball, and I'm like, woo! Drunk. I think I was cussing. I don't fucking know. He gets done, like on a little break of his softball game, and he comes over and he goes, this is a church softball team. You have to stop cussing.
Oh.
And I most definitely had a sheer shirt on and like just a little bralette. Oh my God. Oh my God. So then it starts
The
down.
minister called a timeout. He was like, not in the Lord's diamond.
No. So then it starts torrential downpouring out of nowhere. So softball's over.
God, go ahead.
Go ahead, God. Do you think? Put this out. Thank you. So we go get in his giant truck, and he's like, "Well, now what do you want to do?" I was like, "I don't fucking know." And so then he drives me up into the desert on this little hill mountain, and we watched the lightning, and it was actually romantic. And I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cute." And then he was like, "Oh, I could take you to my dad's dry cleaners." And I was like, "Okay, Breaking Bad, what?" Yeah. So we drive to his industrial dry cleaning, his dad's. He unlocks it. We go inside. We clear the desk and we fuck on the desk. Oh, it's so hot. And then I left the next day. And oh no, when I got home that night, my mom is through the blinds. She's looking through the blinds of her apartment, looking at me and drop me off. I'm just like, yeah, we did it. Yeah, you happy? We did it. That's what you wanted? Me and my mom drive home the next day back to Phoenix. And she's like, "So did you like him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he was fine." And she's like, "Well, what did you guys do?" I was like, "We hung out a little bit." I don't know what you want me to say. She's like, "So you're going to keep talking to him?" And I'm like, "No, he lives in Roswell, New Mexico." And she's like, "You need to give him a chance." And then I quite literally never spoke to him again. And she moved back in 5 months. So all is well. Because first in, first out with her husband. His job.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we got a love.
Right. Well, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
So, from the South to the city.
Don't be shitty. Bye.